Hello everyone, Francesco here. Today I want to speak about fears and how to handle fear and how to keep the smile on your face. And this is from my personal experience. My name is Francesco, and a little bit about my story very quickly. I used to be a guy who was very tense, very anxious, very angry, very problematic. I thought that problems would come up just like this randomly, physical problem, life problems, and because I had this big desire of stop smoking, I learned a lot about myself, how I work, why I do what I do, why I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And it's been 20 years I've been working on myself, and I'm just in the midst of it. I'm not near the end of this process. I keep working on myself, but the things I've learned, I think they're very valuable. They changed my life. They made me into a person who's now very peaceful. He has very much inner peace. I handle my emotion quite well, and I can say I own my health, which is the biggest part of this. Like for me, it's really a miracle because I used to drink, smoke, and take drugs, and no one would ever believe, if they told them that I would be like this right now, really being the healthiest person I know. Anyway, I want to share some of these things because I believe are very important, because a life of learning without sharing to anyone, it's a life wasted for me. So why is it important to know how to handle your fears, how to keep the smile? Again, it's about wasting. It's about this life, how precious it is, and what the waste would be if lived in fear and anger uh, and too serious and all that. So that's why I want to share these things with you. So what's happening to me in the past couple of days is about this situation, the COVID-19, all these impositions, what's going on with the masks impositions. And one of the most recent things happened yesterday, where now they saying that I shouldn't leave my house without wearing a mask. If I wanted to go out, I should wear a mask, even in public, even in outside. And so the way I react to that is by start attacking this. Before I was very passive. I was very like letting things happen, and so I would go in shops when I go to do my organic shop in once or twice a week. I would put the mask on, do the shopping, leave, and don't create any problems, any trouble for anyone. But since now they pushing it, they want me to wear a mask outside. I don't accept that, and so what I do, I attack now, and instead of wearing a mask outside, I'm not gonna even wear them when I go into supermarket. And I started doing that yesterday, and I had my first interaction with the cashier, which I talked about it yesterday. But the point is that I cannot hide that I found myself in an emotional conflict. I feel a little bit afraid. I feel a little bit concerned about what could happen to me, because I know I'm facing authorities, I'm facing other people who don't think like me, who think that I am a criminal or whatever, and this is causing some fear, and this fear is causing my life not to be so enjoyable. So yesterday and today I've been working on these things, on how to handle this fear. And the first thing I did, it was to really look at the fear, really look at straight into the eyes, look at the situation straight into the eyes, and realizing that I live in this historical moment. Every time in history, people faced difficulties, face any kind of thing. So I am not different. This is the human experience, facing difficulties. And so, first of all, I need to accept the situation. The second thing I did, it was to really try to connect my emotion, and realizing actually that I wasn't afraid of a particular situation, because what I told to myself was that I can handle any situation. I was actually afraid of feeling the fear, of feeling a certain emotion. And so what I did, it was to try to first accept any emotion, to tell myself that I can handle any emotion, that emotions don't hurt me. Emotions are there to guide me, and try to understand what they are guiding me towards. So a negative emotion is the result of an unmet need. So today and yesterday I closed my eyes and I tried to go through within myself, what is that need that isn't getting met, that is causing me to have this agitation, this tension. And that is that the need to feel safety, which is a very basic human need. And the need to be safety, for me, it means to be surrounded by people who believe what I believe, who really understand health, and in a way that I understand it, and that they care for my health, they care for their health. And right now I don't feel in that type of situation, but it doesn't matter. The matter it is that I now know that I feel afraid because I have a need for safety and security. And so now my next thing is to understand what is the thing that I can do in order to achieve that, the goal, to meet that need. And that is for me to become independent, to actually make a living by doing something that I love, so that with this I can go and handle my life and do the things I want in my life and create my own environment, be surrounded by people I want to, and living in a place where I want to, and all this. So this is what I've learned from this experience, is that the problem with the negative emotion and with the fear is not understanding it. Once I start understanding it and I face it and I say, okay, this is the situation, I look straight into the eyes of this situation, and this is what I'm afraid of, and this is what communicating this fear is, the need, and how can I go about and achieve this need. So for me, is to really focus on my coaching practice, focus on all the things I'm doing to grow my business, to become financial independent, so I can create my own environment. So this is what I've learned. Another thing, one extra thing, by having a conversation with a very good friend of mine named Daniele yesterday, it was a reminder of that I need to keep the smile. Almost like the action movies where Bruce Willis, is being shot at, but he keeps the smile, he keeps making jokes. That's how I want to handle my life, because difficulties will always be there. If I let myself be too serious and too depressed about the situations, I will live a life of seriousness and depressed. But if I look at the situation like I know there is difficulties, and I use these difficulties as a video game to enhance my ability to become the person who can face and overcome those difficulties, I see difficulties like the difficulties in a video game, I can then look at in a different way, so that I can see difficulties as a way for me to be entertained in my life, to enjoy my life. And so keeping the smile is very important, because if I keep the smile today in front of the difficulties, I will live a life of happiness and smiles. If I let myself be drawn by the fear of the difficulties of the situation, as difficulties will always come, this will always be the case in my life. So again, it's about either wasting my life or enjoying and making the best out of this life. And I do not want to waste my life. So that's why I want to keep the smile. I want to handle my fears. I want to know how to handle my fears and how to handle the situations in the best way, so that they can stimulate me into this video game of life rather than taking me down. So this is what I had to share for today, and I hope you take what you've heard from this little story of my past 2 days, and you can apply into your life. I know that, and I'm sure that you will have plenty of places where to apply this. So I hope you do that, and I'll see you tomorrow again for my next human experience. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.